Let's see. Let's go right. I sort of know this area, but not really. Nishizen parking. Mazda. Mazda is actually not called Mazda here. It is on that. The logo says Mazda, but the Japanese name is actually Matsuda. Matsuda. Somehow they decided that Mazda was better for Western customers or something, but it's still called Matsuda here. Still, when I'm biking around, I try to keep distance away from people as much as I can. Which is harder on a Sunday afternoon when more people are out and the weather is getting nicer and everybody wants to be out. All right. Nice dog. Okay. Now the thing when you're biking around Ōsaka at random is when you come to an intersection with a red light, what do? Do you wait for it or do you go left or right? I'm going to go left for no particular reason. You follow your instinct. I think there's a canal over here. Okay, I know where this is. There's a canal over here. Let's go see what's happening at the canal. I think beside the canal there's a little path. One of the cool things I like about biking around Ōsaka is the cool little paths beside canals. Uh-oh, a red light. One of the ubiquitous vending machines. I really wish they had these in America. Just vending machines everywhere with all kinds of drinks. Not junk food. There's really no food in them usually. It's just drinks. Tea and juice and water. Oops. So if you're ever thirsty in Japan, don't worry. There's always going to be a vending machine nearby with drinks for about $1 each or something. 100 yen. Cigarettes sometimes. Very occasionally alcohol and beer and stuff, usually in front of liquor stores. Goyo. Wrongum Goyo. Okay, here's the canal. What does the canal look like? Oh, there's a duck. I always wonder how dirty this canal is. It looks pretty awful, but there are fish and birds in them. All these canals of Ōsaka. Ōsaka is very famous for its canals. Not like Venice, but I mean it's sort of an old name of Ōsaka. It had something to do with like the city of waterways or something like that. Ōsaka means big slope, so that's different. But some old name I think used to refer, so our old nickname or something of Ōsaka was the city of waterways. This canal is called what is this canal called? I think it's called the Hirano Canal? Hirano Bunsuido, something like that. Okay, I'm gonna cross, here I go. Pull up here and take a look at this stupid camera. Not really, huh? Okay, anyway, going beside, let's go and find what this canal is called. I think it's called Hirano Bunsuiro, which means Hirano Canal. Let's see. Oh, that's nice. Ōsaka, maybe it's just Japan. Ōsaka has this weird kind of balance of grunginess and niceness. Like, basically it's like the whole place was gentrified, but 60 years ago. I don't know if that's true. I just mean that's what it kind of looks like. It's the impression you get. Let's see the name. So it's like kind of nice, like an effort has been made. You know, like the wall is nice and smooth here, but it's just, I don't know, kind of decayed looking. And speaking of smooth, straight lines, one thing Japan loves is just crazy angles of their buildings and stuff. Let's see. Hiranokawa Bunso, Hiranokawa Canal. Hiranokawa Bunsuiro. Anyway. I think the other side has another little path. Sometimes if I get really bored, no, let's not say bored, say sometimes if I get really ambitious, I'll go to a canal or a river or something like this, and I'll go cross each bridge, just kind of zigzag back and forth down the canal, down the river. Now here's what I like. There's a kind of a sense of freedom I get in Japan, biking around. I don't really know if paths are paths. I don't know if they're public. I don't know what they are. But just try them. Stairs. Now if I go down here, if I carry my bicycle down these stairs, is there a ramp on the way back up on the other side? It's a good place for exploring. I'm starting to hate you. Yeah, these roads are too bumpy. These paths are too bumpy for this camera. So where does this lead? I don't know. When's the last time somebody rode a bicycle through this path? Was it today? Was it months ago? Who knows? Okay, I see stairs down there, so I'm going to cut off here and check out this neighborhood, which I've never been to before. Okay, this is not the mixture of nice and not nice. This is just decaying. But there's something beautiful in decay, wouldn't you say? No, not always. Whatever. People put these water bottles everywhere. I think it's to discourage cats. I don't know how that works, but apparently it works. Where is this? I don't really know where this is. A mixture of residential stuff and houses and residential stuff and businesses and stuff. Lots of hair salons. The big P is parking. Parking is a premium thing here, so these 3 spaces probably not used today, but they probably make a lot of money, or enough money that they don't want to tear that down and build a shop there. Bookshop, magazine stand. All right, I gotta move out of these people's way. There's a lot of little minor negotiations that happen when you're biking around. There's like or driving around, I mean. There's a lot of places, a lot of little paths and turns that aren't really wide enough. So if you arrive at the same time, you have to kind of negotiate with the person, the oncoming person, of what's going to happen. I'm going to get around this pole and get over as far as I can, then he can go. Kind of keeps everybody moving sort of slowly and in kind of some kind of harmony, generally speaking. All right, now most of these places are closed. And I don't know if that's because of the coronavirus or if it's just because they're closed. A lot of these covered shopping streets, which are called shotengai, they are, they're full of like little clothing stores, little specialty stores that I really like, but they don't seem very well patronized. Seems like most people are going to the big malls. So a lot of the shops are closed anyway. There's some stuff open. I don't even know what half the stores are, really. I don't see any signs that say anything about coronavirus. Sunday afternoon, you would think people would be open, but maybe that's a day to be closed. I don't know. Jewelry shop. I think a lot of older people tend to shop in these places. Let's get out of here. Let's turn left. After that guy. I'm not afraid to tell you, I'm a little self-conscious biking around with the cameras on my head. But talking to myself is not even that big a problem. I don't mind that part. I'm so distracted by the embarrassment of this camera face. Crazy. All right, hold on a second. Not quite. Lots of construction too. Always tearing buildings down and putting up similar ones in the exact same spot. I don't know why. I don't know why that's even economically viable in some of the cases, but I guess it's just to make them nicer and then rent them out as apartments. And hopefully make them up to earthquake standards, although I think a lot of lying and payoffs go on among the construction companies. There's a vending machine with beer and stuff in it. Only beer. Beer and chuhai and some sake. And malt liquor. And this is a liquor store, closed today. Liquor stores are not necessarily closed on Sundays in Japan for any reason, but that one is. Anyway, I think, based on little evidence and something I read on the internet like 20 years ago, I think that earthquake suitability for buildings is a requirement that is not done so much because it's more expensive. So construction companies just say they did it, or they do it halfway and they pay off somebody to not complain about it. Conspiracy theories with Jeremy. Let's go to this, what is this? Temple. Are bicycles okay here? Wow, nobody's here. Oh, somebody's here. These little temples like this are just kind of hidden everywhere. Just in a neighborhood, you just run across one like this. It's a nice. I would hang around more, but this camera is making me feel ridiculous. I think there is another part to this temple. There's another entrance. Let's go check that out. We'll walk around. There's a bigger place. Years ago, I considered moving into this building. This is a duplex. I was going to move into one of the top apartments, but decided not to. Don't remember why. I think I like the idea of living next to a temple. I don't know why. Anyway, I went elsewhere. Generally, when people visit Japan, or they do something in Japan, people don't usually visit Ōsaka that much. We don't get a lot of tourists in Ōsaka. We get some. And what they do is they go to Ōsaka Castle, which I would certainly recommend, possibly the aquarium, and there's a couple other little buildings you can see, like the world's Japan's tallest building is in Ōsaka, called Abe no Harukas. But people generally, if they're going to go to Japan for a week or something, they'll go to Tokyo, of course. And I've never even been to Tokyo. They'll go to Kyoto, certainly, Kyoto, and maybe Hiroshima, stuff like that. But they don't really come to Ōsaka that much. And if they do come to Ōsaka, they definitely don't come to places like this. I think it's a shame because I like the sort of normal neighborhood type places. Just normal life in the residential areas. I like to see how people can decorate their houses and stuff. See how they live. See what they do if some foreigner with a camera on his hat starts biking around talking to himself. Yeah, you heard me, lady. There's a lot of places that I can't actually tell if it's a private house or a business, and I don't know why. Because a lot of businesses just look like houses, but there's a sign, and sometimes there's one that has a sign that doesn't really seem to say much, but it's not a name, so I don't really know what it is. This is that same arcade. I will cut through this way. All right. A quiet road. There's some newer houses, newer duplexes and stuff. Not duplexes, but very small apartment buildings. They're very close together, but it's probably pretty pleasant. Like houses and apartments tend to be rather small in Japan, but you get used to it. Like you don't need a lot of space. One room, that's fine. And it doesn't seem like it's dingy or poor or like you failed at life or something like that. There's not like the clamoring to get ahead and get a bigger place. People would probably like bigger places generally, but it's nowhere near as strongly pushed as it is in America. So these little small places, and so I think these are just houses, very close together. Neighbors are probably pretty quiet, and there's generally no problems. Everybody's like, well, I wouldn't want people being noisy, so I won't be noisy, things like that. There's a cat. Now here's a cut through you don't know about. I'm going to go suddenly left, and then suddenly right. So, good to get out. Every one of these little roads has possibilities. I've never been down here. It's just a dead end. Some of them are dead ends, and a lot of the ones you think are dead ends turn out not to be dead ends. So it's usually a cut through. Sometimes you don't make it, but you're usually all right. Was that worth it? I think so. Now, I want to cross here, but the light is red. In Japan, people will generally stay on a red light even if there's no cars coming. Pedestrians will. Ōsaka is sort of infamous in Japan. People from Ōsaka are famous for not exactly obeying that rule. People in Ōsaka have a kind of reputation as being much noisier. If you hear loud people making a ruckus, it's probably people from Ōsaka. Wearing crazier clothes, like brighter colors and fashions and stuff. Being more open, like actually maybe even to the point of like talking to each other on trains, strangers talking to each other on trains for whatever reason. Just very friendly and very convivial, but also like cutting across roads on a red light. Not in their cars, but bicycles and pedestrians. So whenever I'm traveling around Japan somewhere, if I see somebody doing that somewhere else in some other unrelated place to Osaka, crossing on a red light, I think, I bet that person's from Osaka. I have no way of knowing if that's true, but that's what I believe. I hope you're noticing all of these drink machines everywhere. Really cool. A lot of barbershops too, with the barbershop pole. Barbershops usually have the barbershop pole there. Not hair salons so much, or beauty salons, which are ubiquitous, but actual just barbershops. Still have the old spinning poles. And why not, I say. All right, that's enough of this. So that was a little bit of eastern Osaka, northeastern Osaka, sort of. No, eastern Osaka. I don't know where I am.